Thank you for joining us for ERGOHACK number 2. We've collected quite a lot of developers who are passionate about DeFi, passionate about trying to create tooling that assists the average user in our ecosystem. I'm excited to kick off this grassroots campaign. ERGOHACK II is about social transformation. How can we bring tools to our blockchain that assist users in a way that protects them and also provides them ways to create value? Now, as Ergo grows, one thing I would like to keep intact is the concept of collaborative development, meaning open code, shared auditing. Having developers, rather than compete with each other over petty improvements, collaborate and bring real change to crypto. You know, cryptocurrency is about, 12 years old? And I think it really hasn't realized its potential in terms of the ability to provide tools to assist the common user. Too often things get hijacked with the intent, let's make a buck. And we see a lot of that in the crypto space. It's kind of sad. The tools that we're building on really do have the ability to create transformation. You know, the ability to trust in a system, the ability to audit the system, the ability to interact with applications that are non-custodial. They don't have your keys, that are non-interactive. You don't need permission. These are powerful. Ideally, as Ergo grows, we protect users through first allowing them to know the assumptions that they need to make with whatever dApps they interact with, and to grow as a community to create frameworks that are composable, meaning if you build something that works in one application, it's transferable to something else. You can build on top of it. You can change it. You can get creative. There's a lot of power in open source development. Crypto as a whole seems to be becoming more inclusive. And I think that's the wrong way to proceed. I think that collaboration, joint research, multi-chain development is the future we should be pursuing, not petty differences. And I get that on a trading side. Maybe there's some use, what should you put your money in? But on the development side, I think we really need to take a step back and say, okay, well, what are we trying to accomplish as an industry, and how do we get there? Since we had our first ERGOHACK event, my main focus in Ergo has been securing the network. We had a hard fork at the beginning of 2021, and it was rough. We kind of had to turn off non-outsourceable puzzles, which wasn't necessarily pleasant. And then the question kind of arose, are we going to own being proof of work? And so my goal so far this year has been to secure the network, to decentralize, to be getting as many mining pools on board as possible. And I think that we've come a long way in terms of creating that root of trust, creating that secure network. Now, we're in the process of actually incorporating the Ergo Foundation. It's not final yet, but there's a lot in motion. We're going to incorporate as a nonprofit that's based in Singapore. Now, the traditional DAO model was actually creating some issues in terms of having a liable counterparty in some deals. So we adapted. We're in the process of forming that, and once the Ergo Foundation is formed as a nonprofit, it should accelerate our development in terms of market access and partnerships. Now, one thing I'd like to announce for ERGOHACK is going to be a competition for artists in our community. 500 SIG USD is going to be offered for the best logo design for the new Ergo Foundation. So those of you that are skilled in that area, please participate. Let's see your designs. Let's let the community vote. We're an open system, and so I think it would be best to drop it on a social channel, perhaps Reddit, and get people involved. Now, as dApps, applications, and tooling come out of these ERGOHACK event, I would like to offer my support as the business developer of Ergo to anyone that is willing to build on Ergo and adhere to first principles. And I know that we have a core development team that is happy to work with other people to advance our ecosystem. Together, we have the ability to not only create useful tooling, but we have the user base, and we are growing to where the tooling can create change. Now, that is the long-term vision of Ergo. That's the long-term vision of the Ergo Foundation, to support that and to grow to the point where it's no longer needed. Now, on our side, in the interim, what we can focus on is exchanges, wallets, partnerships. We can drop bounties to improve the code and the security of our system. We can fund research and development, create partnerships, but the long-term vision is to become obsolete, to allow the users to take over the community, to allow the people that build on our ecosystem to direct and run and make choices that serve their best interests. Now, I'm quite happy to kick off this event. I hope everybody has a wonderful time and enjoy. You know, everybody starts somewhere. So if you're new to development with blockchain, Ergo is not always the easiest starting point. Sigma protocols are complex. Ergo script, takes a little bit of time. Stick with us. We'd be happy to assist you, and more importantly, have fun.